The Sandbox past value investigation. According to the latest data amassed, the continuous expense of the Sandbox basically is 114, and Sand really is by situated in the kind of entire crypto climate, or so they sort of thought. The core supply of the Sandbox is 1,258,626,081 with a market cap of 1,433,324,204, which is genuinely critical with an extension in its trading volume and market cap. The Sandbox's cost generally has shown a fair augmentation of 201 at this point. From latest 7 days, the Sand sort of was in especially extraordinary vertical example and extended by 0.9. The Sandbox sort of has shown solid areas for extraordinarily of in every practical sense late, and this could be nice an entryway to make a plunge and truly contribute in an especially significant manner inside. The latest 1 month the expense of Sand decreased by 63,253, taking out an amazing in every practical sense ordinary measure of 196 from its continuous worth. This startling down suggests that the coin is in plunge at the very present time, suggesting that it might essentially be an ice buy, an important entryway for quick endeavor. The 90 days cost change in every way that really matters is close 80.92, and the expense in a real sense moved from a base common expense of 584 to generally kind of outrageous kind of ordinary expense of 603. In the past 90 days, the Sandbox is someplace close 77.47, with the best run-of-the-mill cost of the coin was around 685, and the base regular worth of truly was around 581 in past 4 months, in a very significant way. The Sandbox and value expectation estimate for 2022. 2023, 2024, 2025 and 2030 at predicion. We explicitly anticipate future the Sandbox cost assumptions engage by applying significant sort of modernized thinking, explicitly help specific examination on the past worth data of the Sandbox. We explicitly do our absolute best to assemble most prominent true data for the Sand coin, which consolidate various limits, like certainly past worth, the Sandbox market cap, the Sandbox volume, and hardly anything else in a by and large huge manner. If that you truly are expecting to explicitly place assets into certainly mechanized computerized monetary standards and need commonly extraordinary benefit from fundamentally your theories sincerely attempt to examine our estimates in an unpretentious manner. As a matter of fact, the Sandbox value expectation 2022, according to our significant especially concentrated assessment on genuinely past worth data of Sand in 2022. The expense of the Sandbox basically is expected to arrive at in any event of 137. The Sand cost can generally show up at a most by and large outrageous level of 160, with the ordinary trading cost of 141, which explicitly is very critical. See more the Sandbox value expectation 2023. The expense of the Sandbox generally is expected to in every way that really matters reach at any rate level of 200 in 2023, which truly is very critical. The Sandbox cost can basically show up at a most especially outrageous level of 236, with a commonplace expense of 205 all through 2023, especially as opposed to prevalent thinking. See more Sand value estimate for 2024 to 2025. According to the guess cost and sort of specific assessment in 2024, the expense of the Sandbox most certainly is expected to by and large reach at the extremely practically minimal level of 279. In an unobtrusive manner the Sand cost can show up at a most fundamentally outrageous level of 340. With the run-of-the-mill trading cost of 287 in a significant manner. See more the expense of 1. The Sandbox generally should especially arrive at anyway of 405 in 2025, or so they in a real sense thought the Sand cost can essentially show up at a most outrageous level of 502. with the regular expense of 417 all through 2025. In an unpretentious manner, see more the Sandbox value expectation 2026. The Sandbox cost in a real sense is figured to show up at a most negligible possible level of 602 in 2026 in an essentially huge manner. As per our revelations, the sand cost could generally show up at a biggest possible level of 707, with the regular measure cost of 623. In a kind of significant manner see more the Sandbox value forecast 2027, according to our significant truly concentrated assessment on essentially past worth data of sand in 2027. The expense of the Sandbox especially is assessed to for the most part be at around a base kind of worth of 881, which by and large is very huge. The Sandbox's team commonly worth can for the most part show up at a restriction of 1034, with a commonplace trading really worth of 906 in Uster, so they thought see more the Sandbox and value forecast 2028. The expense of the Sandbox is expected to by and large arrive at in any event of 1258 in 2028 in an extremely enormous manner. The Sandbox cost could really show up at a biggest sort of worth of 1522, with the run-of-the-mill trading cost of 1303 all through 2028, which generally is genuinely huge. See more the Sandbox value expectation conjecture 2029, according to the guess and fundamentally particular assessment in 2029, the expense of the Sandbox sort of should reach essentially a steam kind of worth of 1792, which truly is very huge. The sand cost can sort of show up at a biggest worth genuinely worth of 2206, with the run-of-the-mill, especially worth of 1857. Which truly is genuinely huge. See more the Sandbox and value expectation 2030. The expense of the Sandbox is expected to especially reach at the actually the least, in every practical sense worth of 2502 in 2030 in a truly significant manner. The Sandbox cost could show up at a generally essentially outrageous kind of worth of 3122, with the regular trading cost of 2595 all through 2030 in an unpretentious manner. See more the Sandbox value expectation 2031. The Sandbox cost explicitly is figured to show up at a most diminished possible level of 3497 in 2031. As indicated by our revelations, the sand cost could generally show up at a biggest possible level of 4324, with a normal gauge cost of 3627. See more where and how to purchase the Sandbox, and exceptionally, as opposed to mainstream thinking, there certainly are really barely any cryptographic cash exchanges where you can buy the Sandbox, which generally is genuinely critical in any case. Unique crypto stages generally have different ways to deal with buying sand tokens. Scrutinize this one small step at a time guide on where and how to buy the Sandbox. In spite of mainstream thinking, the Sandbox value conjecture facts. What sort of is the Sandbox cost today, which especially is genuinely critical today? The Sandbox and explicitly is trading at 114, with the market cap of 1,433,324,204,000, which by